aboard!
Outdoor service owners, rise and shine. It's time to start fueling your success, one adventure at a time. Welcome back to Outdoorsy Entrepreneur, brought to you by House Call Pro, where business owners come to explore ways to take charge and level up. We are your hosts. I'm Kevin Fontaine, and this is the wind beneath my wings, Patrick Harders. Join us on this journey every Wednesday. Like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and listen to wherever you get your podcast. And follow us on our social media platforms at Outdoorsy Boss. Pat's back. What's going on, Pat?
I'm back. Had a trip to California, so always beautiful up in Northern California. That was a great time. Got to be with family, and my niece got married, so good to get a little break right in the peak of season and everything. Then get back to the
grind.
Design and all the fun stuff.
Hell yeah! What part of Cali was it?
About 30 miles outside of Lake Tahoe area.
Oh, okay.
So up in the mountains.
Pretty out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's super scenic. We walked on this bridge. I think it was like an 800-foot drop, just some huge thing. And of course, I have a big boulder that I'm getting ready to throw over the side. My brother looks over and goes, there's a cop sitting right there. It's just waiting for you to throw something.
Oh my God, no way.
Still haven't grown up. 50 years old and still dropping rocks off.
And Laura was saying you guys did whitewater?
Yeah, we did whitewater rafting, jumped off a cliff, did all that fun stuff. So it was a good time.
Nice.
Got
Awesome.
to hang out with my brother, so always fun.
Did you drink any vino?
I don't know about vino. We had Bloody Marys in the morning, a couple beers in the afternoon. Typical vacation time.
Yeah. Tragedy strikes, Pat,
What's
in my
that?
area. Well, my favorite beer is Wicked Weeds Appalachia.
Okay.
It's got an ABV of under 5.
Yeah.
So you can chug a few, and it's very light. It's a good crisp IPA.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a lot of heavy.
Bitterness. Yeah.
Yeah, just it's not heavy. It's very light.
Yeah.
But they stopped selling it. I can't find it anywhere. It's not at the stores anymore. So you can get it in 12 packs
Yeah.
at Walmart, Harris Teeter, doesn't matter.
It's gone.
But they stopped. It's gone. So I emailed them to say, hey, what the F is going on here? It's my fave. So I don't know. I'm waiting for them to hit me back.
I was in California and it was like gold going out there because I had flavored zins, and I guess they've banned flavored zins in California, so you only get the unflavored kind.
Really?
Yeah. Because they're like, they're like crazy out there. Like, it's addicting to children if it's flavored, and they'll get tricked into buying it. I'm like, what a nanny state. That's California
God
for
almighty. I couldn't live there.
Yeah.
All right. Today, guys, we're going to go over 7 reasons why your service business sucks and what to do about it. We've all been there. Everybody getting started, especially, stubs their toes. And me and Pat have been through the ringer, literally running our businesses back in the day. So, number 1, no vision or mission. You come in each day hoping that it'll be better than yesterday. What's the strategy? Where will you be in a year? Where do you want to be in a year or 5 years or 3 years? Mission and vision are so important. People think, Pat, that, that's the last thing I'm going to work on as a business owner is a vision statement and a mission statement. What the hell's that good for?
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of times it's like we have a firefighter mentality where we're just trying to put out the fires each day. And I liked a guy I met with a long time ago said, I'm the CVO of my company, the chief vision officer. And I think that's such an important role that, where are we going, not today or tomorrow, but where we're going to be in a year, where we're going to be in 6 months, 5 years. It's constantly telling my people like, hey, a rising tide lifts all ships. So if the company's growing, we won't have spots for you to grow into it. But why do we wake up? What's our inspiring message? And we went through this last year, going through what our purpose is and how we're doing it, and kind of had to reinvent it a little bit because, as we grow, it's not something that's just static, but like what gets you out of bed in the morning. And it's not just to go like, hey, I want to spray mosquitoes or, I want to put in lights. Yeah. There's something bigger and a bigger purpose that inspires your people.
That's right. And, I guess those of you who may not be familiar with a vision or mission statement is today. What defines the organization? its objectives and how you're going to reach these objectives. A vision statement's more details where you want to aspire to be
Yeah.
in the future. So those are the distinctions, but it's crucial that you have that in place. Like Pat said, it rises up the whole environment if people know about it or taught it, believe in it. So your staff has to believe in that, right? So that's one way to filter out employees that you hire.
Yep.
Is, hey, do you believe in this vision, this mission that we're trying to accomplish? Because we're not just cutting grass. We're not just putting in decks or lighting. This is our why. This is why we do what we do, our passion. And this is how we're going to get our people to better their lives. And then it just keeps permeating from there. But it's a culture that you're going to build around this. It's a rally cry for your organization. And Pat, what we used to do, we would take snippets out of our mission statement and our vision, and we would actually embroider those on our uniforms, put it in marketing. But it's that nice little reminder of what we're trying to accomplish, and it keeps it fresh in their minds every day. So one of our big things we loved was the 95-5 rule, how 95% of businesses pretty much do everything right, good. But it's the 5% of the upper class businesses that want to reach that full 100% experience with their customers. So that's what we embroidered on our shirts and hats, even, just to keep that in people's minds of, hey, this is a part of what we're trying to accomplish every day.
Yeah. And I look at it, it's ultimately what you hire people on for, you train them up to, and you fire people for. If they don't fit into your core values, which, that goes along, you have your mission statement and your purpose, whichever one you want to call it. But then you're also coming up with your core values, and it's not an easy process. It takes a while and takes feedback from your company. What's your mission statement? What did you have?
Environmental improvements through yada yada. It was
Three on the spot.
Well, no, it was an environmental look at how landscaping maintenance and installations can affect a whole community and the environment. So we put an environmental spin on protecting our environment, being responsible with recyclables, etc., being a stewardess of water retainment, no waste, just being a really good stewardess of our profession. And we worked it into a mission statement that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through it, and I remember at first, like, we will be the best in lighting or something like that.
Yay!
Yeah, and we went through it last time, and I got to look over it, but to enrich time spent at home with family and friends was what we came with. Nice. And so it's the idea of, like, for our customers, that's what we're building out, is we want to build this environment that's just killer to relax. I was at a customer's house yesterday, and she's like, oh, the cable went out because we cut it. And she's like, but we went outside and just sat in the lights, had some music going. It was the best night we've had in a while. But then for my people, that also applies to them, is like, I want to build up you in the company so you can afford to live in the community and grow in the community, and that you could have that time. So that's why we do the 4-day work weeks a lot, and try and build it so they have time with their friends and family and can contribute to the society. Yeah. Not just exactly. Like, how do we hire people as cheap as possible? It's more, you want good people.
Yeah, and you want to find ways to reduce stress. Everybody's got stress in their lives, a lot of family issues, money issues. That's your two big main drivers there. But reduce your stress with exercise, get a hobby or do your hobby. I play a lot of guitar and just meditate over some heavy rock and killer metal.
Yep.
I'm kind of a metalhead. Yeah. But it calms me, believe it or not. If I listen to hard pounding Corn or Alter Bridge or something like that, it actually is calming for me as a guitar player, because I love that crunch, that heavy distortion. It's really cool. But family time, pets. Pet, you got a lot of pets, goats,
Goats, pigs. Yep.
pigs. So stress relievers, anything you can think of, because you don't want to come in to work with that stress ball. You're tight, you're mad at something. Don't take it out on your staff, etc. So focus on what matters, and get rid of that head trash and develop that mission and vision so people can rally around what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think one thing that I've aged that I've been working on a lot is, eating right, working out, trying to stay in shape so I could have the energy. But the one thing that I think almost all business owners neglect is sleep.
Oh, heck yeah.
We're supermen. So it's like, I'm going to get out there and I could go on 3 hours of sleep. And as I've aged, it's just been like, I can't, so now it's like I make a mission to try and get at least 7 hours, which is hard. Like I averaged 3 to 4 hours of sleep for 15 years.
Wow.
But you're just not going to perform at the level you want to if you're not focusing on like, hey, get to bed early, which is
My
hard
God.
when you're all wound up and stressed out and you're trying to unwind. All of a sudden, like, crap, it's midnight.
All right. Number 2, you are the bottleneck in your business. You cause a lot of internal issues within your organization. You may micromanage other people about their duties. You blame others. You change your management style from one person to the next. You're inconsistent. You allow distractions to occur. You grease the squeaky wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing we talk about all the time. When I'm trying to coach people is, I know I am the bottleneck in my company. And I was talking to a company that consults businesses, and they said when the owner is the biggest problem, we don't work with them. And usually the owner is the biggest problem. It's like my limited thinking, my preconceived ideas that aren't rational, like, oh, people aren't going to do this, or someone's not going to pay this much money, this isn't going to work. I go in there with an idea and I'm going to ruin the whole idea, or just putting up with bad employees too long.
Exactly.
We've all done that, where it's like, you let someone go, like, I should have done that a year ago.
Well, yeah, your fear is of having some poison in your business is you're like, God, he does a really good job at my install.
Mm-hmm.
How can I afford to lose him? Because we got jobs on the books that we got to get done, and you postpone the inevitable.
Yeah.
And you should have just ripped the Band-Aid and start fresh and correct and analyze what happened with that. Did I not screen out properly, et cetera? So you got to, I was a big believer in when something happened that was not good, what can we do to prevent it, help prevent it next time? So
Yeah.
that's a good time to analyze what you're doing. And then now business mindset, Patrick, we're going to have tons of book recommendations and audiobook recommendations in our masterclass. Just a few: The Effective Executive by Peter Drucker, The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham, Shut Up and Listen, Tillman Fertitta, I can't remember how to spell his name there. There's so many books of how to effectively manage. And so, definitely go there for some good source to get that inspiration to figure that out.
Well, I think if you're a business owner and you're not on Audible, you're kind of missing a big boat there, because, I said to my team when we were at $1 million, I'm like, hey, I am not equipped at this point to run a $3 million business, because it's different. Communication's much different. And I was like, but by the time we get there, I will be. So I need to grow as a person, as a business owner. And, that's one thing that we need to invest in ourselves.
Expand on what do you mean when you say the communication may be different from going from 1 to 3 mil?
Well, you start off and it's like when it was myself and I had Andy and Josh. So it's like the three of us. Everything ran through my brain. Then I started going to the next level where all of a sudden we have like 6 guys or 7 guys and somebody answering phones. Now there's more dynamics. And we get up to 3 million and we had 14, 15 people. And it's like, how is the salesperson communicating with the installation team and the person answering the phone? So it's like you start needing systems that really work in ways that, if everything runs through my brain, I'm done.
Oh, God.
So it's like you need, House Call Pro, other things like that. Like there are a lot of tools out there so that you can have that communication. So the customer knows when you're coming in, they know when to expect the guys to show in, they know when the installation is all built out. So
Yeah. And
that's huge.
yeah, me too. And we had, as we grew more and more employees, I put in protection systems to protect people coming directly to me for things.
Yeah.
There's a saying, easy to find, hard to reach.
Yeah.
And that's where I was at, because I wanted to stop people coming to me, because that's part of being a bad manager.
Oh, yeah.
No, your manager is so-and-so. You're supposed to go talk. This is your supervisor. And the other thing, Pat, that was a big changer for me was limiting distractions.
Mm-hmm.
So people all the time would come and just pop into my office and say, "Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, so-and-so is on the phone. Hey," while I'm trying to get my work done.
Yeah.
And you leave your door open, and guess what? People are going to pop in,
Sit
talk
down.
about a movie, talk
Yeah.
about anything, and that's a distraction. So same thing, like if you're in a meeting and you leave your phone on
Mm-hmm.
and you start getting calls and it disrupts the meetings. Same thing. You got to limit your distractions, and you have to tell people as you grow that distractions aren't really tolerated here, because it distracts other people from doing their work
Yeah.
and gets them out of their head flow.
Yeah. Get the phones
And so,
away. I think one of the big challenges though is like when you started off Fontaine Landscapes, everything was Kevin. I mean, it could have been called Kevin's Landscaping. Like Pat could have been, lighting by Patrick. And then customers get used to that. So we were just joking around the other day saying, remember the customer called up recently wanting me to come out to change out some lamps for him?
oh
Like,
my
I
God,
want Patrick to come do that. And they just laughed like,
the
yeah,
magic hand.
Patrick's
Ah!
probably not in town. So, and it's gotten to the point that, most of my customers, we had to come up with the rules like when do I engage with a customer? And it's very rare. But
Well,
it's
you got to, it's a great point, because when you're transitioning, clients and employees expect you to be there and you to do those things that you
Yep.
used to do. And
Yeah.
then, so as you grow and transition out and rely on delegation and rely on actually managers now that are going to handle what you used to do, boom, it's a transitional period and it takes some time.
Yeah. Recently I had someone in Sterling Lighting, they wrote me and they said, hey, I'm angry at you because I had a path light fail or something happened. And like I sent you for you to send me an RMA. And I was like, oh, that's the worst thing you could do. Like we have a whole system. I have 5 people answering phones. Like they take care of all that. If you're telling me in passing, like I'm not going to remember to do that. And it's really just training people. Like there is a system set in place. We have people there to answer phones. You're building that out so that I'm not the one, going into UPS or FedEx and filling out the form and sending. Like, I don't have time for that.
Right. And as you transition and as you grow your staff, put out bulletins, put out newsletters to your employees, internal bulletins to staff that, okay, now here's our team and here's what they do. So contact these people for these scenarios.
Yeah.
And same thing with your customers. Hey, our new account manager is XYZ, Billy Bob Thornton. He's going to handle now any questions relating to your ongoing recurring maintenance needs.
Yeah.
And then if you have a billing question, contact our office manager, so-and-so.
Yeah.
So you got to really spell it out. Don't just wait and hope, keep, as the calls come in, oh, let me let you talk to so-and-so. Be proactive and send those bulletins and those announcements out, ahead of time. All right. Number 3, you hate your money. People aren't frugal. You don't have a budget, and we all know that cash is king.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to protect your money. Create a budget, build in some buckets that you spend on marketing, on maybe employee raises throughout the year, any kind of bucket. You want to line those out and put in a budget that you're able to spend in each one, and save funds for slow periods and unknowns. Save up for future.
Yeah, you need capital. I think nowadays one thing that eats up, and I think I'm actually planning it today, is going through the subscriptions. Like there are things that I sign up for. I'm like, And they're not much.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like, oh, this is like $70 a month, but I forgot about it and we haven't used it for
adds
2 years. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, we just spent $1,500 on X. We had
Yeah,
a phone system that we discontinued. I'm like, are we still paying on that? So you got to go through and look in QuickBooks and go like, all right, what am I being billed for
yeah,
that I didn't realize I was being billed for? And, we quit
yeah.
using that, but still pay it. And
Same thing like with streaming subscriptions. I
mhm.
mean, Hulu, Netflix, Prime,
Oh, yeah.
Max. I mean,
Yeah.
you start getting all of them because they all have little different differentiators, but then you start
$12 a
listening to
month
one or
and
two of them
yeah,
and then you still paying. It's just
keep
something that
paying
you got
for
to
it.
keep looking at.
Yeah. Staying on top of those little things that eat away your money. The other big one that I think is collecting money. Like
Okay.
make the understanding that like get in, get out, get paid. Like the expectation is like payment is due either before I start the job or as soon as the job's done. Because I remember looking down and going like, holy crap, we have $100,000 in payables right now, in billables, receivables, and I'm going, why don't we have this money? Like we've already done these jobs. Some of them are 30 days out, and so then it's like
Mm,
expectation.
wow.
I hate credit card fees,
Yeah.
but I
But they're
love
quick. That makes it a lot quicker.
yeah, cash is king,
Getting,
and I love saying like, "Hey, job is completed. We're gonna go ahead and do the second part of the billing. It's in your contract. Anything after that is our maintenance and warranty, and we take care of adjustments. But yeah,
yeah.
we want to get paid as soon as the trucks are pulling out of the driveway.
Yeah. We offer 3% discount if people pay by cash or check,
Yeah,
but you got to go collect that in person usually.
yeah,
Or if they mail it, it takes forever with the mail these days. So yeah, credit cards are very quick, but they do charge 3 to 3.5%. So that kind of sucks. But cash is king and you got to protect your money. So buying used equipment instead of brand new, stop financing everything over and over, save up for some equipment or a truck, buy smarter, rent instead of buying at first. Make sure there's a really consistent need and that you're recouping costs before you commit to a new mower or any kind of equipment. I know, Pat, back in the day when someone would come in and say, God, we need a new riding lawnmower, and they'd show me a picture of this new Z-Turn
yeah.
and I'd look it up and check it out. Holy shit, that damn thing's like 15 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And I would research it and I would have manufacturers demo us their new products. And then we'd let the team that operates those try them out because it's not me that's doing it, it's them.
Yeah.
And we would, do a cost versus benefits analysis on each piece. And a lot of it had to do with ongoing maintenance, belts versus chain versus drive, because those are different in how they fail
Mm-hmm.
and dependency factors. Because, as we're working in the mornings, those 4 10-hour days, there's a lot of dew on the grass. So there's a lot of moisture
Mm-hmm.
on our equipment early in the morning. So belts would slip a lot. So we used to do back in the day the Toro belt drives because they were fairly inexpensive walk behind commercial mowers,
Yeah.
but they slip and going in reverse up a slight incline
Yeah.
when it's dew on them ain't happening.
Yeah.
You gotta struggle to get those things backed up. So
But
it's a judgment call there, but watch your bottom line numbers there.
and one thing you mentioned buying used vehicles, it's always a measuring situation because I've gotten to the point that I've kept vehicles too long and they're just starting to go into the shop. And once you
Yeah,
start getting to the point where it's like, hey, I just replaced a transmission, now I've got something else happening and so it's like it's sometimes cheaper to buy, the newer vehicle and replace the old one. Once you get to a certain point, I know, a lot of companies, the mosquito control company that I know the owner well, they replace all the blowers every 3 years, no matter what. So they just do a
right.
3-year lifespan. But you have to build that into your price. Replacement cost will sneak up on you, and that could kill an entire year of profitability if you have to replace, 7 trucks in 1 year.
Yeah,
So
and last
cycle.
week, I don't know if you missed it, but Zebbit was with us, and they have a really good implementation tool for their budgeting where you can put future buys of trucks and equipment, and that adds into your overhead recoup rate that goes into your man-hour rate. So that was a cool feature that they showed us last week. So,
and it's really good if you could pull it aside and set the replacement cost into another account that you're not touching, so that when you have to go buy a truck, you could just pay cash for it because you've already billed out for it. Otherwise, it gets swallowed up.
Yeah, there's two different looks, methodologies on buying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the who's that financial guru, Ramsey?
Yeah.
What's his first name?
David.
Dave Ramsey. He's a big believer, pay cash for your house.
Yeah.
And there's another side to it of, hey, save your capital and go with the down payment and financing, because now you've got all this capital to go buy another rental property or something else like equipment.
Yeah.
So, you know, with purchasing, there's nothing wrong with purchasing because it's a business write-off and you got deductions there you can do on your taxes. But just don't overcommit and overspend just because the people say you may need it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to really analyze how much you do need something before you buy it. I remember, Pat, when our lighting, we were like, oh man, we need to buy a lift.
Mm-hmm.
So we looked at like bucket trucks and the pull behind towable lifts and all that stuff. Man, those things were damn expensive for a good one.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, let's just keep renting. It's okay. We're just going to keep renting. And so you got to make those decisions. You know, it'd be nice, but save the money and just do more old school ways your dads, your parents, your grandparents used to do it. If they didn't have it in the bank, they wouldn't buy it. If they took your parents to the store to get some shirts, once grandma pulled out that last $100 bill, y'all, she ain't buying anything else.
No.
She's not applying for a Belk's card or Macy's card. That's not how their mindset was back in the day. They are very frugal. They knew that how precious that $100 is because it's not guaranteed it's coming back tomorrow. And that's our same mindset you got to put in there. Money does not grow on trees. Protect it because, hey, it may be good today. You may be killing revenue today, but gosh, COVID, the economy crashes again.
Mm-hmm.
What then if you're not saving? So try to save, even if it's 5% a week, a month, 10%, put back and save for the rainy day.
Yeah. Yep. Cash is king and capital. If you're undercapitalized, you're going to be making bad decisions.
Number 4, your morale sucks.
Yeah.
Lack of team environment and culture. There's no bad or poor communication. So you got to change that. Change your mindset. Bring back the morality and bring back that culture. You're going to have to do some check yourself before you wreck yourself. Reality meetings. What we did, Pat, is we developed a career path. We had a lot of employees nagging us about pay raises. And just off the cuff, you know, one guy would come in 1 week, another person 3 weeks later with the same problem of, hey, when am I going to get a raise?
Yeah.
So we had to develop a career path to show people, hey, this is how and when you can get a raise. And this is what you need to do to fulfill that, to be eligible for the next promotion. And it'd be in a promotional period or it's dependent on position. And, you know, so you're here now and you want to get here. Okay, well, here's what you have to be certified in or trained in, or this is the level of experience you need to get there. So we would have their foreman, their account manager be responsible for that career path.
Yep.
Through meetings, through orientation. You know, the office manager would go over this with them to paint the picture of, okay, here's your job description. Here's where you're coming in now. But look, when this position, if it becomes available, boom, you can get some more pay by doing these things. We also had Everybody was eligible always for sales, any new sales generated. That was a way to earn more commission or more money. We had pay for performance. Pay for
Bonuses.
performance bonuses.
Yep.
Where if the team comes under budget on hours and their job was graded by the manager and it was okay quality, then you're eligible for a percentage of what the company got in extra revenue there. So it's our job to paint the picture of, hey, here's all the paths available, and through your mission and vision, more paths are going to become available, and we're going to grow.
Yeah.
And so that's so important, is to bring that morality check in place and then show them the potentials of what's going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's why growth is important, because, if you say, hey, I'm pretty satisfied with where we're at, the issue is there's nowhere for anybody else to go. I would throw in there, like, as a kid, I got thrown to the principal's office all the time. And so going into the principal was a terrible thing. So I naturally thought reviews are something that everybody's going to hate. And when I get lazy or, fall off schedule, and we were just talking about this 10 minutes ago, Josh and I was like, oh, we need to do a review with everybody. And that one-on-one time, a lot of times you could, sometimes you get like a bad apple or someone starts complaining and it starts permeating through the business. And just sitting down with someone and going like, hey, here's what you're doing well, here's where you're not. Because I think what you find is when people get the worst attitudes, they're overvaluing themselves to such a high degree. And then on the other side, you're disappointed with their performance. So it's like, there's nowhere for you to go besides out of here. But if you could sit down and catch that.
Team culture there.
Yeah.
It's all me culture, and that's totally bad. And you got to check your employees immediately. As soon as you hear dissonance and an issue with the team coming in, say the foreman says, hey, so-and-so has been really disruptive today. He's just going on about XYZ.
Yeah. Bring him in.
It's immediately that needs to take action on that and find out, why is this happening? What's going on? And correct it. And if you can't correct it, you got to dispose of it.
Yeah. You can't let it sit there and ignore it, because it doesn't get better with time.
Bad apples will ruin the bunch.
Yep.
Number 5, why your business sucks: no customers. You don't know how to market yourself. You're not getting customers. You may have the best service going, but nobody knows about it. What can you do to change that? Start a killer website. We use Big Tuna. They do our websites, and they're awesome. We'll have a link in the description below if you want to check them out. But they're super affordable, and they have killer websites. They're transitional to mobile phones, everything. And if you don't have a lot of money to spend, do some guerrilla marketing. I love guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
We've done some creative marketing with Frisbees, logoed Frisbees with a glue sticked brochure underneath it. And we just toss them out as the guys are in each neighborhood doing their own service. We'll just say, hey, throw 100 Frisbees out each day. And that's creative. You can do, of course, yard signs are awesome. What's some other creative guerrilla marketing?
Well, even like for us, it's funny with guerrilla marketing, it's your cheapest form of advertising. We get busy and we forget to do it so often, where it's like, oh, I don't have time because I got 3 installs today. But even like, hey, knocking on the neighbor's door, go like, hey, if we're in the way at all, or a little letter in the newspaper slot that just says, if you need a truck moved or you need anything, let us know. We're going to be here for the next 2 days or 3 days. So something to just notify the neighbors, like, if there's a problem, come to us and talk to us. Everybody here can handle anything going on. So
yeah, we did the same thing. So every job, especially every installation, landscaping or lighting related that we do, we put the door hangers down, 10 houses down each side, across the street if able. And it's just a door hanger. Don't put anything on the mailboxes, but put them on their door. And it says, hey, don't mind our mess. It gives them a heads up, or we're going to be causing some commotion, some noise, some debris. And hey, by the way, we do this. If you need us, contact us, yada, yada. But it's a nice grassroots message that, hey, we're in the neighborhood working. We hope not to disturb you, but also give us a call if you need anything. And that's a great tool
Yep.
to give them a heads up and also get a new phone call.
Yeah, and a lot of times, we work in ghost towns a lot. So you go into these beautiful neighborhoods, but nobody's home during the day. The husband and wife are both working. So we pull up at, 8 o'clock in the morning. They've already left for work. We're done at 3:30. And, they have no idea who did any of the work. And
That's
a
right.
lot of neighbors don't always talk. So radius mailings are another one. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things you can do that are fairly inexpensive that, is really trying to keep you into a small community. The other thing
Yeah.
is just bunching people together. We've had a number of times where we've said, if we get 3 or 4 quotes in, there could be a little discount on pricing because man hours are down.
Yeah. There's a cool Zapier integration with House Call Pro
Mm-hmm.
where it'll send automatically a postcard to your service site address.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say, okay, send it within a street by street or send, by a radius. You can
Yeah.
customize the distance and how many you're sending. But the beauty of that, Pat, is, God damn, these damn Zens.
You need water.
The beauty of this Zapier integration is you can pre-populate a message. It'll throw it on a glossy postcard that has your logo, has your website, contact info, what you do,
Mm-hmm.
and you can send it ahead of time. Say you got a job booked in 3 weeks, boom, send that bitch, and it's going to hit a population of around that area, and boom, you're there. People already got the card. They see your trucks. Boom, they're going to get a call coming in a lot more because, with marketing and messaging, it takes more than one message to get into people's brains. They got to see you 2 or 3 times
At least, yeah.
before it knocks something in their brain to call. So, lawn signs, door hangers, postcards, your website is crucial, your SEO
Social
ranking.
media.
Social media posts, post on all your social media platforms.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
And
Now, another thing, go ahead, Pat.
I was going to say, I think you really should be attacking your local community too. Because that was one of the biggest analysis we did is how much it costs to have guys drive. We had an hour and a half, a project an hour and a half away. And when we're sending 3, 4 guys out and they're driving an hour and a half one way and an hour and a half back, it's a lot of money if you're going by billable man hours that you're putting into that drive. Where if it's 6 minutes from your office, you can get in and out, and there's so much more profit in it. So make sure you're not overlooking your local customers to go after that one, big neighborhood far away.
That's right.
You could really build a lot in your community.
Exactly. So yeah, we've had customers hours away, and that's a judgment call for sure because it's a lot of windshield time. But Theodore Roosevelt, our 26th president, famously said,
Good old Teddy.
Teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
He said, he had a famous quote, people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care.
Yep.
So you have to create a compelling message or story in the why you do what you do in your business.
Yeah.
So this is a kind of a beat the competition thing. You may not be getting customers because your message isn't clear. You don't have a compelling message. Hey, we cut lawns. I see these signs out on the corner of the streets all the time. We'll aerate your lawn.
$79.
Yeah, they'll just put a phone number and a price. And man, that's such a bargain basement stretch.
Yeah.
But put in a compelling message as to why someone should choose you over the next guy. So be cognizant of that. And not only does that uplift the interest of customers, but that also uplifts your employees as well for this compelling story. Yeah. I know in lighting, we always used to bring up that my grandma crash story, grandmother-in-law. And, lighting changed my life, and that's a compelling story, so you got to give this reason of why you do what you do. Why are you trying to, are you elevating your service? you know, in lighting, landscaping, lawn care, deck building, power washing. It doesn't matter the industry, but how are you going to uplift your industry, your community, your processes, standardizations, your employees, et cetera, your culture around something that's bigger than exactly what you do?
Yeah. I think a lot of that's the passion that you bring into it. Like, I don't care what you're doing. If you're passionate about lawns, like you should know more about lawns and look at it and go, that's a fungus. These are weeds we got to treat. This is the fertilizing schedule. So like you've taken time to really become a master. For lighting, you have to know a lot about trees. Like you can't just say like that big tree over there, this, it's getting into like, what do the trees do? What's their foliage like? And, what are they
Growth
going to look throughout the
habits.
season? Exactly. So it's like when you're really passionate about it, you're not even you're not on the same level of your competitors because, they might be putting lights in the ground or they may be cutting grass, but you're really selling the idea of like, on Friday afternoon after they cut the grass and it just looks perfect. You got the stripes in it. It's been treated well. It looks like a golf course. It's just a place to relax. This is, for most homeowners, their home is where they're going to unwind. And, we want to create that space that, really makes them want to stay home and invite friends, family over.
Yeah, like when you pull up to a customer's house doing lighting and they say, yeah, I want to do some down lighting down my driveway. And you look up and see it's a bunch of pines. You say, ah, you have Pinus strobus. That's a eastern pine, Mrs. Smith, and they
Yep.
grow super quick.
Yep.
And as soon as we put the mounting bracket, within 6 months, it's already going to start growing over the bracket. So you're going to have some maintenance needed if you do want this done, this downlighting from there, and give them that expectation. They're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. The previous lighting guy just said, yeah, we can do some lighting in there and didn't mention the heavy maintenance costs behind going forward. So,
Yeah.
knowing trees, knowing growth habits, going above your box there.
Yeah, and having the terminology. I always start every lighting design on the inside. So it's like counterintuitive, but I'm like, there's something called veiling reflection that when lights are on the inside, they hit your window, it forms a dark panel of glass that you can't see past. And so I want to see what you're looking at. How do we bring that in? So when you're on the inside of the house, I want to see what you're looking at. So if you're washing dishes or looking out your big picture window, I want to start there and then we start building out from that point. And most people are like, oh, no other lighting guy even wanted to come in the house. They just started walking around the outside and, 2 crepe myrtles, 16 lights on the house, and they're done. Where, we're taking time to really try and design something special.
Yeah, another way we promoted more customers was referral rewards. So have some sort of referral process, and where they get a gift card or they get discounts off future service, but let them know that you rely on referrals as your main source of income generation. And, in your newsletters, your communications with your clients, let them know how important it is. Let them know how important a Google review is for you, because that drives new business. So get them involved and let them know how and why that matters to you.
Yeah, that's huge. Google reviews are huge. And we made that a big focus about 2.5 years ago. We hit 275 yesterday. So
Damn, good job, bro.
That's pretty good. Still working on it.
Number 6, you don't have a customer or sales process. You're losing bids to competition. You have a low closing ratio on your sales. So you need to analyze your processes, what current systems you have in place for a sales process, what's in place for production. Do you even have a production process? And then what's your process being built around customer service? Because those things are huge, Pat, because that's your beginning, middle, and end right there. Sales, first impressions. What's the customer going to value and think of me as I approach her or him to sell them and earn their business? Then once we are awarded the business, what's that experience like for them during and after? And then how your guys are going to put that in, or women going to put that in, implement that production. What's that going to be like, right?
Yeah.
And how
huge.
seamless, right? And then at the end, what are we going to do at the end? Just send them a bill and is that it? Or is
Run
there
their card
something
and
else?
run.
Right. So,
Yeah.
think about all those processes and what you're going to do and have something shored up to fulfill those needs.
And I would say it starts, obviously the phone is the first thing, is answering your own phone, having somebody answer each call. But then you should have a sales presentation. You watch a golfer or a baseball player, they have a swing that they practice, and they have a way of doing it. You should have a sales presentation. And the other, I think the number one thing that we do poorly as salespeople is we don't ask for the order. It's kind of like the old saying, like, why do girls think all guys are jerks? It's because the nice guys are standing off to the side, not approaching them, and the jerks are walking up to every girl asking them out.
Right.
And it works.
It
But
does. Yeah.
it's something to sit down with the customer, and you at least have to say, like, all right, here's your proposal that I want to walk through. Here's your cost on it, and we could do it on X, and make them think about it versus emailing over a proposal.
Yeah, and it was like the old Seinfeld episode with Seinfeld goes into Putty's car dealership, and turns the tables on Putty and Elaine, trying to get them back together so Jerry can get a discount on the car repair. And he says, all right, guys, what do I got to do to get you into this deal today? And it's asking for that sale. And what do I need to do to make this happen for us?
Yeah. So I've watched so many guys where they think they're even asking for the order and they never do. They go, well, the price comes to $9,000 and, we could do it in a couple of weeks, but I don't want to put any pressure on you. So give me a call whenever you feel like doing it. It's like you're making the customer like move forward with it instead of saying, I'm passionate about this. I'm excited about this job. I'd like to get it done. I've got an opening on this day. You're not that slick, annoying salesperson, but it's like, are you available on Thursday? Let's move forward with it.
Put in real world scenarios.
Yeah.
Another thing, Pat, I like to change, evolve from was just business cards.
Yeah.
So instead of just handing someone a business card and you're not sure of the sale or whatever, and all right, call me if you're interested or whatever. House Call Pro was a big game changer for us in that respect because it automates messages to their phone.
Yeah.
And so they initiate conversations and ask questions here and there before you get there, during, and after. And so that was a good thing because business cards get lost. You forget about them. You're putting all the angst on the customer to call you back or message you. Mm-hmm. Whereas House Call Pro, it just automated that process a lot. And now customers freely ask questions. Hey, what about this quote? Can we lower it or can we expand upon it? I want to add some more to this. So that was a big, nice little game changer for us in that respect.
Yeah. I also think a presentation folder, and it doesn't have to be too crazy, but the nicer it is, the better, because let's say they're getting 5 quotes. They do start to blend in. And they start going like, which guy was this one? Oh, he was the one that said X. And so it's like leave behind material that's like, you could send it before the appointment to give them an assignment. Like, I'm going to go ahead and give you this information to read through before we meet. So our meeting's as valuable as possible. But at the end, here's my company, my information. Keep all your documentation in it because a lot of our customers are older and they document everything. They have a file folder that they keep all their crap in. And
so guys, what are you doing for your process currently? Let us know in the comments below. Another thing, Pat, people can do is analyze themselves and their processes using the SWOT analysis.
Yep.
What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? And what are your threats? What's your competition like? So, or your environment, that can be, threats could also be where you're working in. What's the community, population density, the customer availability? Do you have high end or low end or middle blue collar? So you have to analyze all those different fields because then it's like a war. Like, is it a captain or a general in the war?
Yeah.
He's going to plan his attack. Remember all those cool movies where they're in the ravine? God damn it. Well, you have one, you got two, I don't know, the enemy.
2 battalions or two forces going against each other.
Yeah. One general would plan his attack on the other based on where they're sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're in heavy cover, he's going to plan an attack to go around them and get them on the
Flank
backside.
them.
But if you're an open field, you're a sitting duck. So you got to, didn't some formations, they did that circle formation
Yep.
with the shields up so they can turtle up.
I actually, I live right on Manassas battlefield. This is my nerdy story, but it's where Stonewall Jackson, was it Stonewall Jackson? He came in and he flanked the Union, which is just cool because he took the unfinished railroad. So he had the high ground for 2 miles and came on their backside and they attacked. It's just interesting watching that, but that's exactly right. Cool. Like he did an analysis of what the terrain was, where he was at, and then where he can attack from to cause the most damage. But it was very risky to do it. It was considered the best military move America's ever done. But
yeah, exactly, man. We are the coaches. We are the generals in the Army. Plan your attack, up your game. And Pat, we used to love to wow customers right from the get-go. As soon as that phone rang, hello, this is so-and-so landscaping. How can we beautify your lawn today?
Yep.
So you're sending a message right away. You're not just saying, hey, this is so-and-so landscaping. It's like, yeah, what do you want? No, positive message, uplifting. You're already providing a solution in their minds and you're getting them activated. And we used to always, from that point to the next phase, we're wowing them way more than other people tend to do.
Yep.
Right. So we're trying to differentiate why choose us over the other 10 bids they're getting. Cause they're getting 5 to 10 bids. It's just in people's nature.
Yeah.
Cause they don't want to feel like they're getting screwed.
That's what we do a lot of it's the attitude that we're already working for them before we've started the job. We just come up with the assumption, the confidence of like, I'm actually starting to do the work. So we'll do drawings, renderings. We'll come out with all this information. We'll flag the whole property. And I'm like, listen, if you want to go somewhere cheaper, it's already, the design's there. And I'm giving this to you for free. I've put hours into coming up with a great design.
Love it.
You're not going to get the same result, but if you want to go cheaper, you can do that. I don't mind giving that to you.
You're building value right away. And you're becoming that relationship building and that value building right away. And that's crucial. So formalize your sales, formalize your customer service processes, and change your game. Make it a plan. Number 7, you're a part-time business and you're seasonal. You lag in the off seasons. You're looking for work when the day of you need it. Stop that. So seasonality wise, Pat, have you ever gotten into that problem or rut?
Yeah, I think there's seasonality and it's, you need to, when you're busy, it's when you need to put the hammer down and go like, hey, like right now, we're trying to book to get about halfway to 3/4 of the way through July because we know there's always a dip for us when the kids get out of school. So it's pushing really hard. Yeah, vacations kick in. So it's like, I want to get halfway to 3/4 of July so that I could spend the month of June and half part of July just trying to book August stuff. So we don't have that slow period. The other thing I think is important, I just had a good talk with someone, is a lot of business owners, they don't quit their main job. And I was like, hey, sometimes you got to burn the damn ship. Like Cortez.
Knowing when to jump, right?
Yeah. And I think it's easy to sit there and not give up on that security. And it's like, you're either all in or you're not. And if you can't trust yourself and say like, if I put 100% effort in, I'm going to be successful. So it's like, you got to burn the ship and say, I'm all in. Because how are you going to ask your employees to say, you guys are in, but I'm still doing another job on the side? There's not much confidence there.
Yeah, no doubt. So seasonality wise, learn and provide supplemental services. You might want to add some services to your repertoire. Mm-hmm. So if you're just doing lawn care, maybe start planting plants or designing landscapes or introducing hardscaping, building fences. What?
Plowing, which I hate.
Plowing. Yeah, I mean, anything, snow plow, outdoor lighting, just anything to fulfill that off-season seasonality that is rampant in any industry outdoors in the home services. I know, Pat, we used to run specials during the summer and fall. Hey, if you book us in the winter, you get a discounted rate because that's our slow season. So we'd try to pre-book through incentives with newsletters, when people call, etc. And adding on services. You can do lighting in the winter.
Yep.
It's not affected by dormancy. You can do decks, fences. Hardscapes is a great winter service that we promoted.
Yeah. Maintenance is
So
also huge. Just saying like, hey, every
yeah,
January, February, we're going to load up with all our maintenance contracts so that, we're not doing maintenance contracts in May when we're already slammed and sending
yeah,
3 guys out. So it's like, let's do the pre-checkup, make sure everything's working good, polish everything off, clean the lenses, do all that kind of stuff. Pick times of the year to come out and clean everything up.
yeah. And we used to also offer discounts on mulching
Mm-hmm.
because everybody wants to get their yard mulched in spring,
Yeah.
but that's our peak season. So we're struggling to find the labor. So we would give them discounts if they would do it in February, January. And
Yeah.
that helped keep our guys busy, but we're getting paid.
Yeah.
So it's a good generation of revenue there.
And your current customers, like, so often we do a job and we leave the job and we don't think about it. And that communication, you said newsletters, we do a hard newsletter to everybody 4 times a year. But, that's what's going to carry you through your slow time. There's a lot, if you're building a patio, just checking back with the customer. How's the patio? Does it need anything? Need any filling? Is it dripping at all or drooping or whatever? And do they want to add in? We could add that little fire pit that you were talking about. We'll do it in January when we're slower.
And another great supplemental income to have is design capability, landscape design, barbecue, outdoor living design, lighting design, designing decks and fences, showing them a 3D rendering.
Mm-hmm.
That's really a great tool. We're working with a developer now, and they do high-end modern custom homes. And we're just doing one specific service for them right now. I sent them a note saying, hey, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but we also do a lot of design work. And I'm a certified NC plantsman. I can identify hundreds of plants. And I also design hardscapes. I can design in the pools and into your landscape plan. So I'm trying a different avenue to broaden my connection with my own customer that I already have.
Yeah.
So farming is huge. So farm your customers for more services. They may only know you do one, but as you add other services to your portfolio, let your customers know this you do killer work over here or this thing or that thing, because that's going to bring in more revenue, give you more seasonality throughout the year. And that's important.
Yeah. And I think a sales process is helpful from the standpoint of like being able to follow up with customers. So, you're in December and January, February is coming up, and like every person that we didn't sell or everybody that's called in, we're reaching back out. So we just had a customer recently that they called in and like spoke to someone, but nothing happened. And then they just fell off the map. And I have, my girls going through and just following up, and it turned into a $40,000 install where it's like, it was 2 months dead. Not even a consult with them. The guy just fell off the map, and just had follow up like, hey, you were interested in lighting. You called us 2 months ago. Want our designer to come out. We'll start up the process, and ended up going through the $40,000 job that, that makes a big difference in a month.
Definitely. And then like, outdoor audio, boom, throw
Huge.
that in. Did you know we do this? So yeah, just any guerrilla marketing, just thinking as an owner, being proactive, developing your business from the ground up. It's all important. All these tools we talked about today are so crucial for us to up our game and level up our businesses.
And I think as you get more educated, get better at what you're doing, your projects grow in scope. So you remember like your first lighting jobs? It's like,
yeah, they were like, I was lighting trailers, literally.
14 lights on a house and you're done. And then all of a sudden it's like, I've got 7 lights on this one tree now, and it looks a lot better. And it's like, it's the same thing with planting. Like, you build a patio and you put 2 crepe myrtles on either end and you're done. And it's like, well, there's all the flowers that are going to go in, and then you have the maintenance on the flowers, the mulch beds. You're expanding into other areas of the tree, going to the front of the house. Like, there's a lot that you could keep adding into as you get better and better at what you're doing.
I used to always tell people as I'm meeting with customers on site that I would be there for a specific task. And I'd say, hey, by the way, did you know you need some drainage work over here? Oh, I didn't know you guys did that. Yeah, we got all kinds of ways to spend your money.
Yeah. Yep.
And I would tell them, dude, I got an outdoor lighting company. We do landscaping, drainage, hardscapes, masonry. Man, I got all kinds of ways to spend your money, Mrs. Smith. And they like that. I'm telling them I want their business. And I've got a lot of great solutions for you to spend your money wisely. And it's an investment. It's going to benefit your lifestyle. It's going to benefit your home value. It's going to increase your curb appeal. Value build. Hold their hand. Be the expert. Bring them through that whole cycle. And it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up this episode, guys. Comment on what you're working on and smash that subscribe button if this is beneficial information for you guys. And hit those notifications and listen to wherever you get your podcasts. And follow us on our social media platforms at Outdoorsy Boss. Looking for a way to streamline your processes? Check out a terrific software called House Call Pro. Link in the description below. It's got a 14-day free trial. And Outdoorsy Entrepreneur community gets 50% off their first 2 months. The Outdoorsy Masterclass will be launching this summer. Check out OutdoorsyEntrepreneur.com and sign up for early notifications for early bird rates. All right, Pat. We can't wait to see everybody. I can't wait to see you, Pat, next week.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys.
All right.
All aboard!